Hey everyone, good morning, and welcome to my new podcast. Same podcast, new name, New Hampshire Knits, formerly the Knitting Unicorn. Um, if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Um, I'm Rebecca, and I am coming to you from southern New Hampshire. And I guess it's actually not morning anymore. It's a little past noon at this point. I totally overslept today, and I don't know why. Um, so let's see. Um, if you follow me on Instagram, it's now New Hampshire Knits, and I posted about how um, in my new home I've been sort of just enjoying New Hampshire, and I've been here for a little while, but I've been really trying to enjoy it more, and the outdoors, sitting by the fire, all the foliage in the fall, and it made me feel like maybe I needed a little new branding. So um, that's the reason for the name change. It's a new era in my life. Um, and also, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I posted in my stories a poll. A coworker and friend of mine started putting together some ideas for maybe some logos, and um, there was one that I really liked, and I posted that to see what you guys thought. It still needs a little tweaking. The font needs a little love, so to speak. But let's see if I can get the picture up for you. But I think that's what I'm going to go with, just a slightly cleaner version of it, because it's, like I said, needs a little tweaking. How? Where is it? There it is. So look forward to a version of that to come. I'm excited about that. Um, and I made some, well, they don't have the logo on it yet. Maybe I'll get some new ones with the logo. But I also ordered little tags for my knitting from Archer Knits. So this is Archer Knits, Cassie. And she's on Instagram, and she has an Etsy shop, and she makes like the little leather labels. So I got some of those, and the front side of them says handmade with love by Becca, and then the back side says hand wash dry flat. So when I knit things for people, I can put these on there, and they know it's for me, and they know how to take care of it. And I have a picture of them on a shawl that I just made. And that was the front, and you can see that's the shawl folded up, but the tag is there. This is hard to do backwards. Um, and I gifted that last night to my friend Heather, and she loved it, and it was really cute. So, yay! Um, so I've been on a massive whip clean out and trying to get through as many existing whips as I have and not casting on new stuff. So I'm going to show you the things that I finished this past 2 weeks, and the other whips that I'm currently working on. There's some whips I showed last week that I haven't made any progress on, so I'm not going to show those. It's a couple pairs of socks and a sweater. But I have some other whips that I dug out of the timeout pile to work on, and I'll show you those. I think that's all. I don't have any stash acquisition, but I do have a new cookbook to show you and some shows I've been watching. So I'll talk about that at the end. So let's jump right into FOs. So one of the FOs I have, I did not show this whip last week because I kind of forgot about it, but I wanted to clear out as much stuff as I could, so I pulled out some quick whips to finish up. So I have this hat, and it's just a simple beanie with a 2x1 rib, and I still need to weave in ends and block all of my FOs this week. But super cute beanie. I think I'm going to give this to my brother. And the yarn is inked sheep fibers, right? Inked sheep. And this is the colorway corduroy, and this is a fingering weight. And I hope you're getting the full effect of it. It's really beautiful. And I have a bit of it left. I think I'm going to make myself a pair of shorties with this because I really, really like it. I don't know, I think it would also make a nice sweater. Have to buy more of it, but I really love this yarn. It's beautiful, and I buy a lot of her yarn, as you will see. So that's my first FO, and here's the crown of the hat. I just did some decreases, and I like the way that came out. So yeah, I'm happy with that. My next FO are the striped socks. So these blockers are not big enough for these socks, so the heel looks ridiculous. But this is Patton's Croy, and the colorway is called the Blues. Again, I still need to weave in ends and block, but it's just a vanilla sock with an afterthought heel. And I showed last time that I had put the scrap yarn for this one like 10 rows too soon, so I had to fix that. So when I finished the foot, I went back and I picked up for the heel 10 rows below, and did the heel, but I still had the scrap yarn in here, and I'm gonna be honest, I was lazy and I did not feel like taking the scrap yarn out and grafting it back together, so all I did was duplicate stitch over it. I think it came out pretty good. I think when it's all blocked and done, let me just get it on my hand here so I can show you what it looks like. Right here, this row is where I duplicate stitched. And I think I did a pretty good job. So we'll see what happens. I got a lot of ends to weave in now because this is the scrap yarn I use is this fluorescent green. So you can't see that at all on the other side. And that was really the goal. There's no fluorescent green. Yay! But now I have to weave in all those ends. But laziness ensued. What are you gonna do? I was really sick of those socks, to be honest with you. Like I said last time, I think that these will make a good sturdy sock, but I hated knitting them. This yarn is so scratchy on my hands. I don't like it. It was not enjoyable to knit. So anyway, moving on to a much more enjoyable yarn. These are another pair of vanilla socks. These have a heel flap and gusset, and these are, oh my god, I love that color. This is, the colorway is called Mully Grubs, which is a Harry Potter reference, and these are, this yarn is dyed by Teeny Button Studios, and this is her BFL sock, and then the heels and toes are the mini that came with a sock set I got from Whips on Sticks. That is a Superwash Merino nylon blend, and this is a Superwash BFL nylon blend. I was a little concerned about putting this heel in with this sock because when knitting these two yarns, they feel different in the hand, and I didn't want them to feel drastically different on the foot, but they actually feel not drastically different when they're next to each other. The BFL is a little sturdier, but I think that when it's all washed and blocked that it will feel really nice. So I'm very happy with how these came out. It's a 1x1 twisted rib. Again, still have to weave in some ends. And a heel flap and gusset, toe, and the rounded toe, which I use on all my socks, which is from the Rose City Rollers pattern. I like a rounded toe. So that is my third FO this week. Yep. And yeah. Whoa, kitties. And that's it for FOs. I mean, I did quite a bit. These socks were just here, so I did the heels, feet, and toes. And yeah, anyway, moving on. So my current whip that I'm working on is the Independence sock I showed last time. I finished the first one. So this is the first one. Let me put that on a blocker for you. This yarn is Lolo Did It. Hippo for Independence is the colorway on her plush sock. And the heels and toes are her everyday sock base in the Sriracha colorway, which I bought a full skein of that because I actually use this red. I've used it several times for heels and toes. So I'm glad I bought a full skein of that. So this is my hoe, and this came out nicely. This is almost identical to the other sock I just showed. It's just a different cuff. I did a 3x1 twisted rib, but same number of stitches, heel flap and gusset, rounded toe, etc., etc. And I am on to the second sock, and I'm currently on the gusset for that. So I hope to finish that tomorrow and then move on to more whips. Like I said, I'm not going to show all the whips from last time because I haven't made progress on them, but I hope there was a couple pairs of socks that I hope to finish before the next podcast, and there's a sweater. I don't know if I'll finish that in the next 2 weeks, but I also pulled this whip out of the pile, and this is, it's on very small needles, so it's hard to show, but you can see this is the Antler Toque from oh my god, I'm going crazy. Tin Can Knits. And this is a free pattern, I believe. And it's a cable. They look like antlers. I hope you can see that contrast. Not very well there, but yeah, kind of. I think it looks much better in person. But this is the also inked sheep fibers, and this is, I'm holding it double, so I had to split it into two balls. The colorway is called Blenheim, and this was a charity she did 2 years ago, I think, to support Cavalier King Charles Rescue. She has a Cavalier. I used to have two Cavaliers, and so I bought this for that, and haven't used it yet. The pattern calls for a worsted weight, so I'm just holding this double. And I think it's coming out really nicely. So I'm gonna finish that this week as well. And I think I'm gonna try to do all the finishing on all these whips as well, which reminded me that I have a little bag of some other FOs that still need to be finished. I've showed these a long time ago, but I'll show you again. These are the Georgia socks from Tracy Miller from the Grocery Girls. And I'm going to put them on sock blockers because they have lace on them and you can't really tell without it. There we go. So these are the Georgia socks, again, Tracy Miller. And this yarn is also Whips on Sticks from her Mystery Stripe Club. And this was called Bomb Pop for her July, not this past July, the year before. And it looks like a Bomb Pop popsicle. And the mini is the same colors but a speckle. And I just absolutely loved this yarn, and this pattern was awesome. I just haven't woven in the ends or blocked it yet. Is that true? Maybe I did weave in the ends. This one. I didn't weave in the ends on this one. So I'm going to try and get that done before the next podcast and block those. And then the other thing I made last winter was the Stoneham Poncho by Diana Walla for Espace Tricot. And that's this. And it's just a little poncho. And this was done in Kelbourne woolens in their Scout base. And I really love this yarn. I definitely want to make some other sweaters in this yarn because it feels like a rustic wool, but not itchy. I'm very sensitive to non-superwash wools. So finding this wool that gives the feel of a non-superwash, but without being prickly on my neck and stuff is just amazing. Like when I first hold it, I'm like, I don't know if this would feel good, but then I put it here and it's fine. It's not very toothy at all. So this is a great yarn, especially for color work if you are sensitive to wool, non-superwash wool like I am. And I definitely need to block this and weave in the ends because I really want to wear it. This weekend has been very warm here, but it has been getting very chilly in the evenings and stuff, so it's getting to be that time. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully I will get the finishing done for that this week as well. And let's see, where are all these socks? Socks. So all of these whips that need to be, FOs that need to be finished are going into my Indian tangled bag from 2018. This is my shout out to Rhinebeck at Indie Untangled since it's not happening this year. So sad. That's it for knitting content. What is happening here? There we go. What else do we have? I have my mug. I don't know if I was using this mug last time. Pumpkin spice season. Yay! I forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. For those of you who have been watching this podcast for a while, you've seen this before. This is my Beekeeper cardigan from Marie Green, I believe. Yeah, I really love this sweater. And I have a little bee charm on it. And yeah, love that. So, that's it for knitting content. If you don't want to watch anything else, I'll see you next time. So, for my birthday, my boyfriend took me to Greenleaf in Milford, New Hampshire for dinner. And it's a restaurant that they make seasonal. Their menu is seasonal, and it's all local ingredients that they get from local farms. And they have a big chalkboard up on the wall and tell you where everything's from, and I love that. And the owners of that restaurant also opened down the road a bakery called Culture. It's like bread and sandwiches and stuff. And that place is so good, and I go there all the time. And they have a cookbook, and when I was there the other day, I picked that up. And this is the cookbook. It's called the Farmer's Dinner Cookbook, and it is also seasonal. So it's broken up by summer, fall, winter, spring, and it has beautiful photography in it. Let's see if I can find one of those pictures. Here's a page of pictures. And there's some dishes in here that just look so good. They have a roasted cauliflower au gratin, simple but yummy. Roasted Brussels sprouts with hot honey and hazelnuts. Yes, please. What was the other thing in here? Apple butter, kale chips, herb crusted focaccia, rolls. Oh, brown bread. I love brown bread. I think it's a New England thing. I'm not sure. But brown bread, you make it in a can and you like steam it basically. Oh, it's so good. And it's got molasses in it and stuff. They have their recipe for their sourdough bread. There's also a recipe in here for their sourdough starter. Sweet potato gnocchi with sage brown butter. Oh my god. Anyway, this is making me very hungry. But I'm very excited to cook a bunch of stuff from this. And it's from Cider Mill Press, which I think you can get this online. But I'm not sure. Anyway, great cookbook if you are interested in seasonal cooking, fresh ingredients, things like that. This is awesome. So I'm very excited about that. I just finished book 2 of the Druid Chronicles by Kevin Hearn, and that was called Hexed or Hammered. Hold on. Now we have to look. Why can't I get into my phone? Ta-da! Okay. So, yes, Hexed. I don't want to actually read it. Book details. There we go. So I just finished book 2, and I just started book 3, which is called Hammered. And in Hammered, he is so he's a druid, and in book 1 he had to fight a druid god. In book 2 he battled with some witches, and book 3 we are venturing into the world of the Norse gods and dealing with them. And I am loving this series so much. Again, not new to it's not a new book. It came out 2011, but I am really enjoying it so far. Yeah. And what else? Oh, shows. Ow, my leg. I started Cursed on Netflix, and I am very into anything King Arthur related, and this show is a version of the King Arthur story, but its main character is Nimue, who is also known as Vivian. So if you've read some of the other or watched some of the other King Arthur stuff in the past, Mists of Avalon, Vivian is the Lady of the Lake, and so this show has her as the main character, and about her and her relationship to Excalibur. Before I started it, I heard some negative reviews about it, but I'm really enjoying it. I tend to like everything that everyone hates, so I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. But I'm enjoying it very much. It is a little intense and a little uh, graphic, so I there are times where I wish there was a little bit more comic relief, but I am enjoying it very much. I also, which is very out of character for me, watched Emily in Paris, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very fun kind of don't have to think, just enjoyable show. So I look forward to another season of that. And what else have I been watching? Oh, I finally got around to watching this final season of Schitt's Creek, and it was very good. And I admittedly bawled my eyes out at the end of it. So that's it, I think, for shows. Um, this is a really short episode because I've really just been cranking out the whips and I don't really have anything exciting to show you. So that's all. I'm going to let you go, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully with another pile of whips completed. So have a good one. Bye.